Welcome to Wedge Tips with me, Chris Ryan. Now the wedges in your bag are probably the most versatile clubs that you have. They can be used from so many different situations and scenarios, and you can use them to hit so many different types of shots. But how do you know what technique to use? How do you know what club to use and when to use each club from that situation? Well, that's what we're going to clarify in this short series of 3 videos, where we're going to find some different situations around the screen behind me, and I'm going to run you through exactly the club that I would choose, why I would choose that, and then how I match my setup and technique to that club and that situation to help me get my golf ball close. So before we do that, we really probably should dive into my bag and see what wedges I carry. Now the pitching wedge is part of my iron sets, that's the P7 MB. But I then go into 3 specialised wedges. I have a 52 and a 56 in the milled grind 2. My most lofted club I have is in the high toe, and that's a 60. So those are the clubs that I'm going to have available to me from the situations that we choose. And as I say, I'm going to run you through which club I choose and how I match the technique and the setup to that club to help me get that ball close. So the first shot we're going to cover is what we're going to call a chip shot. And I would play that from a situation just like this one. A little bit of fringe grass, but a little bit of green where I can allow that ball to roll and release to the flag. And I want that ball on the green to be rolling very much like a putt. So I don't need huge amounts of loft. And so that's why for this type of shot, I would be using my 2-degree wedge. That's my wedge with the least amount of loft. Now, how do we play it? What do we want the ball to do first of all? Well, we want that very low ball flight landing on here, and then as we said, releasing like a putt. Everything that we do has to encourage that to happen. Job number 1, get yourself stood much closer to the golf ball, almost to the point where it feels a little uncomfortable. What that does is it forces you to raise the grip up a little bit and get the club shaft more vertical. That raises the heel off the ground, and we start to play the shot with the toe of the golf club interacting with the ground a little bit more than the heel. Great for this situation. It helps that club move through the turf a little bit better and really reduces the chances of you hitting any duff shots, which from this situation can be quite costly. Now from the face on, I'd love you to take a setup with your sternum, so that's the buttons or the zip on your top, and the grip of the golf club slightly ahead of the golf ball. And hopefully you can see that there. What that does, it starts to put a little bit of forward lean of the club shaft, and it starts to help me promote a slightly more descending or downward strike into the back of the ball. When I'm playing these chip shots over a very short distance, I really want a slightly negative attack angle. Again, we've spoken about it before, consistency of strike is key from here. If you misstrike it, the result is often going to be a little indifferent. So those setup changes really help me create that slightly descending blow. Notice also very, very soft arms. I don't really want them to be locked. I want a nice bit of relaxation in the arms, and even a little bit of bend in the elbows is absolutely fine. Now, once I've got myself set up, I've hopefully increased the chances of me hitting a good shot. But we also need to think about how we actually move the golf club and how we play the shot. And I want you to think more about moving the grip end of the club as opposed to the club head. Very often poor chippers are moving the club head, not really moving the grip too much. Notice how on these practice swings I'm using a bit of body rotation, a bit of body pivot, and actually the grip of the golf club is moving a significant distance. The more wrists you use, yes, we can get the club head moving, but the grip very often moves in the opposite direction. That's no good around the greens for chipping. So let's get the grip moving in the same direction as the club head. That's a great way to ensure that we get body movement, consistency. And if you do these well, there's a decent chance you can get close to holding them. Right, let's have a go. It's a little bit off the left. So as long as I judge the break correctly, I might have a chance. And not bad. A little strong on pace, but it had a chance to go in. So that is your basic chip shot. Great to be played with a low lofted wedge, get the ball on the green, rolling, read it like a putt, and you might even hold